Okay, so today I'm going to work on the next step of these little ones, and I'm hoping I can make a pretty decent dent in these two. This one, she has had the purple model, she's had the red model, she's had a yellow model, and she's had a blue model in certain areas, and it was all cooked on. The blue was over here on her face and on her inner legs. The next thing I'm going to do before I work on the shading and blushing is a cream colored model. I did this on Amaya. I don't know if you can see the difference with the two of them. It kind of gave Amaya a little bit more of a pale skin tone, but it also created a little more depth in the modeling look itself. So I'm going to do that with Suu Kyi as well. And then I'm going to give her another cook, and we'll work from there on some of her blushing and those details, because her skin tone is just about ready to be finished and finalized. And then after that, it's only creasing and blushing. And like always, I'm going to start in the back of her head. I don't want this to be visible as it goes on, otherwise it's too thick. It'll be showing up as it dries. So right now you're basically just looking at the reflection to make sure that you've covered it all. I'm going to do over the top of the ears. The only thing I'm not going to do is over the top of the lips. And everything else needs this over it evenly. I really hope that you guys can see the depth that comes. I don't know how well the camera translates that. But with the naked eye you can see all these layers building up, and it really looks very realistic and really cool. Across the nose, on the top lip, and a few spots on the chin. Alright. I'm going to set that aside and let it dry while I work on these limbs. I would also suggest to everyone to get themselves a drying rack. This has been chewed on by cats because they are lovely creatures and love to chew on nubs of stuff, kind of dip-tards, but that's what they are. This we got from Amazon. I make my own as well, but this one is from Amazon. I think it was $7 or $8. They use it as like a dish rack where you stack your dishes in it. But I use it as a drying rack, and it prevents things from touching. I can get, on this one, I can get 6 body parts on each side, or 3 full sets of dolls. I don't ever put their heads on. They just kind of sit there by themselves over here. So with the drying racks, you need to not set your wet pieces on the actual towel because it will wipe off what you've done. So as you work, you will put your finished pieces on the drying rack so that they're not touching. I've already matted this baby's fingertips. That is in a video that's uploaded already. Before I can do anything else with this particular set of fingertips, I had to mat it so that it wouldn't suck the paint in like overly here and not enough there. German vinyl, for some reason, I have no idea why, but at the very tips of the fingers, and sometimes at the tips of the ears, the tips of the nose, anywhere where there's like a point in the vinyl where it meets the bottom of the mold. Sometimes it doesn't settle right or something. I have no idea what causes it, but it, for some reason, will allow like a porous sponge type of a texture in the vinyl. And a lot of artists are aware of this and they know what I'm talking about. But if you put a thin layer of the thinning medium as like a matte finish over the top, I refer to thinning medium as matte finish. I never actually use the stuff called matte finish. My matte finish is the Look Alive thinning medium, or the Genesis thinning medium. I get it from Jerry's Artorama in giant 4-ounce containers. If you put that on, you have to put it on while the doll is hot, and then cook it on, but you only put it on the fingertips and the toe tips. And then when I get to the next layer where I actually start working on some of those details, it will allow the paint to go on smoothly without having anything being sucked in and like a sponge looking too porous and gritty, which is not desirable. So Maya's already up to this point, so while this one's cooking, I will start on the next step with her in another video. She is ready to get some of her blushing and creases started. I might give her another layer of mottling though, maybe a brown model just to warm her up a little bit. And she is a custom, and her mother has kind of requested kind of a warmer skin tone for her. So I'm trying to match what her pictures she sent are. Suu Kyi's technically a custom too, but I'm duplicating another Suu Kyi that I've already made, and this is what I did for that one, so I'm trying to do everything I did for that one and see if I can make it look semi the same. Looking good so far. Super excited about these two. If you guys are following along with your Asian babies, I would really love to see pictures of your finished products when it's all said and done. I have no idea really truly how YouTube works, if that's even possible to send pictures, but if not, send them to my Facebook so I can see what you guys are doing and how you guys have used the tutorial to your own gain. It'd be fun to see everybody's versions of their Asian babies. Okay, so little arms, little legs. You can actually see this head as it's starting to dry. You can see the white and the cream color showing up as a topical layer. When it's completely dry, I will look her over and make sure that nothing sticks out too white and too crunchy looking like it's a powdery. I don't want it to be powdery. I want it to be kind of subdermal below the skin. So we'll double check to make sure that it doesn't look like that, and if it does, I just kind of tap it down with my finger, and it usually takes off the particulate matter that makes it look dusty and powdery. So we'll get these guys cooked, and I'll be back with another step.